Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Thursday, November 18, 2021. The sun is in Scorpio through this Sunday when it makes ingress into Sagittarius. This transition represents a shift in our outer life, that is, who we are in our social, civic, and work spheres, from a fixed water vibration to a mutable fire energy. From the personal to the community. These last few days, as we look back on the sun's transit through the sign of Scorpio and acknowledge the transformations we have invited from within, we also begin to feel that pull to be present and part of something greater, bigger than ourselves. This is really a moment of overlap. It shows us that these dualities don't exist independently, nor do they necessarily exclude one another. In fact, they help to create and complement one another. And indeed, we can't bring our big hearts out to the rest of the world without having first gone within and made our hearts large. This waxing gibbous moon in Taurus will be full tomorrow. Really, that's tonight, after midnight around 3 a.m. We're called upon to focus in and bring into full expression the intentions we set for ourselves a couple weeks ago at the new moon. Taurus's influence brings a slow and steady pace and the sense of physical ease and comfort we get from our material, at-home surroundings. Let's take a look at these planets and aspects before we get into the interpretations. I have prepared a legend of the symbols we'll be looking at today, so we can start with an idea of some of the energies that are in play. As always, we have the sun. The sun represents our outer life. That is who we are when we step out the door, again, who we are in our work, social, and civic spaces. This is the person that people meet when they meet us for the first time. And then we have the moon, which represents our inner life. And that is really our relationship with ourselves. So the emotions that we feel, our intuitions, what we know. It also applies to our domestic space. So where we are at home, who we are at home with, and who we are when we are at home. That's the moon and our inner life. Mercury is present. Mercury represents the intellect, especially our day-to-day thoughts and communications, the plans we make, and the traveling around that we do. Neptune is present, and that represents our relationship to the human collective and sort of where we stand in the flow of the human spirit. Jupiter is here. Jupiter represents growth, expansion, positive vibrations. Pluto represents rebirth, death, endings and beginnings, sort of the extreme ends of the story. And it also represents the depths of our emotion and our intuition. Uranus is here, and Uranus is always coming around asking us to do things differently. So that brings around changes, and it's not really the kind of change we talk about with Pluto, which are really deep transformations. These are more of the regular changes that we have to make in order to improve the flow of our days. Chiron is here. Chiron represents healing. Mars is present, and that represents initiative, our personal initiative, our passions, and our drives. And Venus is present. Venus represents love and money, or what is your relationship to the people and things that you value the most. As for the energetic aspects we'll encounter today, these are relationships that these planets make with one another as they move along their elliptical courses. We have a trine. We have a couple of trines here. Trine is a very positive aspect. It's really very harmonious, and it kind of represents a really good time. Sextile is here. Sextile is also a positive energy. It is a cooperative energy, and cooperation makes things happen. So it generates something good. opposition on the board. Opposition represents conflict. It also represents the opportunity to find the balance in a situation. And we have a couple of squares here. That's just representative of challenges. These are kind of challenges that come up like stop signs that we have to notice and go ahead and move through. And, you know, always stop at the stop sign and then go on through, right? The signs that we will be mentioning today are Scorpio, Taurus, Gemini, and Sagittarius. And with that, I have divided our aspects into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon sheds light on our nights and it moves very quickly, creating many brief aspects that represent ambient energies that may produce moods and other internal experiences for us through the course of the day. The sun sheds light on our days, and I address the rest of the planets on this side because these aspects take longer and they have more of an impact on our actions and interactions out in the world. We start with the sun today. In our ongoing column, we have Venus square Chiron. And this is day 4 of 4 for that aspect. When Venus is in aspect with our natal Chiron, we are asked whether our approaches to relating are altogether well. Is there healing to be done among loved ones? Does someone's approach to managing their finances need a little help? This aspect's effects are on their way out, and it is worthwhile to have brought our attention to these misalignments, even if we weren't able to correct them immediately. Love and money. Healing our relationship to love and money. And today is 2 of 4 for Mars opposition Uranus. When Mars and Uranus make aspect together, we feel inspired to act on a new or different idea. Opposition tends to bring about conflict, and with Mars involved, this may be a frustrated or angry response to someone or something that appears to slow us down or get in our way. Sometimes people will try to convince us that our fabulous new and different idea isn't realistic. Sometimes we will come to that conclusion on our own and let go. Otherwise, we will have to carry out our intentions with the knowledge that we may encounter some resistance from the people around us. So act on something new, possibly you will find resistance. Today, and I give these in Central Standard Time, at 9:38 a.m., 8A, Mercury goes trine with Neptune. Now this very positive aspect is marked by increased sensitivity, creativity, imagination, and in general feeling connected to spirit. Our ability to work and share with others is much enhanced. It's as though we're able to back up and see the big picture, that we're all in this together, and that looks and feels really good to us at this time. This aspect comes around twice a year and lasts a couple of days, so we will revisit it tomorrow. Very positive. Working with others. And then this evening at 12:08 a.m., really on the other side of the clock, on Friday morning at 12:08 a.m., Venus makes a trine with Uranus. Our affectionate hearts here are stimulated. Let me write this down. Our affectionate hearts are stimulated in a very positive way by things that are new and different again. We may seek to do something a little bit different in the bedroom with our partners, or if we're unpartnered, we might begin a brief but exciting affair with someone who would normally stand a little outside our template for attraction. Aside from those things, this is generally a positive time for socializing and trying new things. A personal or financial investment in a new venture is likely to work out well. This aspect lasts about 4 days and comes around 2 or 3 times a year. So we'll follow up on it tomorrow. Our hearts want something different. Good time to try new things. Especially when it comes to those people and things that we value the most and our relationships with them. Okay, on the moon's side at 1:14 p.m., or is that p.m.? Yeah. The moon makes a sextile aspect with Neptune. The moon in aspect with Neptune raises our sensitivity and our willingness to connect. With positive, generative, sextile energy in effect, those attributes make us very attractive and good things come out of our interactions. This aspect lasts 2 hours. I'm going to say increased positivity and connection creates good things. 2 hours. And then at 1:47, which is only a half hour later, the moon runs in opposition to Mercury. This can be a time of confusion when we really aren't clear on what we think or how we feel, even in regards to everyday stuff. It can be hard to believe the things that people are telling us under this aspect. And, you know, it's really okay to feel a little bit of confusion. Confusion really is just a signal to us that we need to back up and take a breath and try to get clear on something. And let me tell you, if you're trying to get clear on something and the things that somebody is saying to you are not adding up, then the confusion is not with you, right? Okay. So, increased, let's see, blurry thinking or blurry understanding. This is a 2 hour aspect. So, hold out, get some answers. Don't make any, firm decisions at that time. And then in the evening at 8:22, the moon runs square with Jupiter. So when Jupiter shows up, everyone feels good and has a good time, no matter what. The challenge here comes in with a possibility of overindulgence, and this applies to emotional overwhelm as well as like food and drink. This is a 2 hour aspect. Good times. Don't do too much. And then at 9:57 p.m., the moon runs trine with Pluto. This aspect also points to increased sensitivity, but more of the psychic and perceptive kind that connects us to the spirit within. This 2 hour aspect is a great time to get grounded, sit with our intuitive tools, and engage in shadow work or spell work. Get grounded and intuitive at this time. That's about 10 o'clock at night, so, it's even the deepest part of the night. It's nice and dark outside. Just go ahead and, create a little space for yourself. Sage your surroundings, sage your body, or otherwise, smudge yourself or cleanse yourself, and then just sit down, get grounded, do your reading, do your journaling, do your tarot, whatever it is that helps you feel connected to yourself and connected to spirit through those efforts. So today's lunar energy signature is rather positive, I would say, with moments of more clarity or less. Overall, we're sensitive to our own feelings and those of the people around us, and we respond positively to one another. Early tomorrow morning brings us the full moon in Taurus, traditionally termed the Beaver Moon. This Beaver Moon comes with a power-up bonus, partial eclipse. We'll say eclipse right here. Beginning at about 3 a.m. The full moon and the eclipse begin right around 3 a.m. This eclipse will be visible for the entire Western Hemisphere, so if you can manage to be awake at this hour as we pass between the moon and the sun, which are at opposite ends of the sky at that time, go see it. The full moon in Taurus with an eclipse is like adding Miracle-Gro to a plant that's already doing great. And then boom, it gets like 3 times bigger, greener, and happier within the week. Celebrate in opulent comfort, my friends, whatever that means to you, because honey, everything is coming up roses. Saturday brings us to Lunar Apogee, which comes around once a month, and at this time we feel a little less susceptible to the moon's influence in our lives. And then on Sunday, the sun will make ingress into Sagittarius. Clean breaks and fresh starts all around. We will talk about these things and more in upcoming episodes. That's it for today, friends. This has been your Daily Aspects, an astrological weather forecast for Thursday, November 18, 2021. If you haven't already, please like my video and subscribe to the Old Girl channel. I will leave this up here for about 30 seconds so that you can have time to look it over. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. My name is Melanie Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Daily Aspects.